We are going through a dip in the markets right now. Bitcoin is down 6% on the 7 days. We've had a great run up leading into this, but right now the market is taking a downturn. But in this video, I'm going to go over why this is actually probably the easiest dip to manage, because the market just showed us where the liquidity is going to flow whenever the market does turn in for the next bull run. So in this video, I'm going to highlight the 4 altcoins that I think the market was simply screaming in your face whenever the market was doing well, that these are the ones you need to be accumulating. These are the ones in the middle of the attention sphere. And also, these are the ones that are going to catch the biggest waves during the official next bull run. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. As always, guys, be sure to drop down below, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel for more. Every single week here on In the Game, we have you covered top to bottom, everything you need to win in the crypto markets in 2026. And of course, a big shout out to our sponsors down below in the description. I would highly advise to check out 𝗨𝗏. One of our trading competitions just ended, but we are about to begin another trading competition that is for $5 million. So make sure that you are set up down below with 𝗨𝗏. Let's just dive into the market. I'm going to keep this one pretty short, sweet, and simple, but also just show you guys exactly why this dip is probably a blessing, because the market just showed you a playbook that is probably going to repeat itself whenever the market does turn back around to the upside. Obviously, like I said, Ethereum is now down 10% on the week. Solana is down 14% on the week. We have Bitcoin down 7% on the weekly time frame. We have Tau down 20%, Sui down 20%, TON down 17%. A lot of these coins were just absolutely printing to the upside. So I do want to go over why this dip is such a good opportunity. So what we just saw play out in the market, first and foremost, we have the Clarity Act still pending. And I think that if the Clarity Act does get passed, we probably see upside sooner than later. So I do want to put that out there. I don't know how long this dip is really going to take, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a little bit of uncertainty in the markets until, number one, the Clarity Act passes. That's just going to show, for a lack of a better word, it's going to give investors so much more clarity moving ahead in the crypto space. But number two, we have a little bit of a turnover period. There's about 45 days, give or take, until the new Fed chair has his first meeting. So whenever we see his tone and where the markets are going to go, maybe if we get some rate cuts into his tenure, that's going to give us a good direction as to where the market's going to go moving forward. But most importantly, with this dip, we just saw where the money is going to flow. Okay. AI, privacy, perp DEX. So when we look at it right now, I think that this dip is such a strong opportunity. The elite altcoins to hold made themselves very clear over the last 45 to 60 days. Okay. Now is the time to begin to find entries on these tokens if you felt sidelined. So these 4 tokens, and I would also probably honorable mention TON, although TON did just pump tremendously off the backs of a big announcement from Durov regarding the TON Foundation. So take TON with a grain of salt, but I do think that TON will do very well moving forward, just considering the fact that the actual Telegram team has retaken over the TON Foundation. But the ones that really caught the most volume, hype, liquidity, attention, and biggest runs over the last month were these tokens. Number one, Bittensor Tau. You guys know Tau got up to about $420, $430 plus before it did take a little bit of a downturn. Now it's down 20% on the weekly. 250 is a great entry. I mean, even last week, this token was at $330. So you're looking at a pretty good entry right now, long-term on Bittensor Tau. Coming up, we have new updates on Bittensor Conviction, which means that subnet founders have to lock up their tokens, changes to the root yield, and upcoming roadmap. So this is going to be very pivotal. I think the things that are going to be said here, this comes out on Thursday. It will be broadcast in the Bittensor Discord as well as X. So I will be paying attention to that and also updating you guys the next day with a video. We also see this coming to more ecosystems, right? Last week, we saw Tau launch on Solana, and their plan is to bring all the subnets over to Solana as well to provide access wider spread to the Tau ecosystem. Today, We see app custody and institutional users on crypto.com can now stake Tau and Subnet through 𝗪𝗏's validators. 𝗪𝗏 is one of the bigger entities underneath Bittensor, enabling access to the ecosystem yield for the trading platform's 150 million plus global audience. And then we looked, we've been talking about 𝗨𝗏𝗃, a really popular, native product under the ecosystem, which is Subnet. They just rebranded to Zip Code Network. So this is a product building on Bittensor, and this really caught my eye. We open real estate lending to everyone. So not only appraisals, it looks like they're going for the lending game in the decentralized space. So this is going to be interesting to see, and we'll definitely keep our eyes on that. At 250, I even think this is a good DCA point, but if we continue to take a dip on Bitcoin, you're going to continue to see really good entry points open up on really all of these tokens. Number 2 in the AI sector is Venice. We look at this all chart. Venice just got up to $17. And I feel like if the market would have kept to the upside and we didn't see this dip, it probably would have eclipsed all-time highs, that 20 some odd dollar mark right here, $21.48. I would not have been surprised to see this have hit all-time highs if the market had continued its trajectory. But with Bitcoin taking a 7% hit on the weekly time frame, you're going to see corrections. So Venice is down 20% over the course of the week. But this is just a crazy play. I really think that this is maybe the easiest AI play to take advantage of because of the growth numbers. They just hit 3 million registered users. 3 million people who wanted ChatGPT that doesn't spy on them. So the biggest thing here is Venice is privacy plus AI. So you're kind of overlapping these narratives between Venice and Zcash. I absolutely love that. And they have 3 million users. They don't store or log your prompts. They don't package your personal life to sell to advertisers. I mean, what Venice is doing is really changing the game. And also, this is the definition of decentralized AI, right? Private, permissionless AI. And they're also just now launching their hackathon with MetaMask developers, building the next-gen agentic user experiences with $16,000 up for prizes. So definitely good stuff going on in the Venice ecosystem. And given this market cap, I wouldn't be surprised to see this $50+ maybe by the end of this year if the market does give us some friendly price action on Bitcoin. Number 3 is Zcash. And a lot of people, you see Zcash, but you don't really understand exactly the capabilities. And regardless of what you think of the market bubble show with Ansem and banks, I think that Ansem does a good job here. Instead of having to look at different bank accounts and different places to store your wealth, Zcash allows you to have access any point in time and take it with you anywhere. If you have $1 billion in Bitcoin and send someone $100, anyone you sent that to now knows you have $1 billion in Bitcoin. If you have $1 billion in Zcash and you send someone $100, they don't know how much you have in your actual address. This is the privacy layer that Zcash provides. And it's like that Swiss banking aspect. Like in the Wolf of Wall Street, whenever he goes overseas to find some Swiss accounts to bury his, laundered money into, whatever the case is. This is kind of that, right? It's Swiss banking. But if you want to keep private, right, it's really dangerous. You send money somewhere and someone peeps into your wallet, they see you have $1 million there, then that could be a risk for you. So not just, what the Wolf of Wall Street did with the illegal activities. This is actually just good for safety purposes, right? Someone sends you money, maybe their phantom wallet has $6 million in a meme coin. All of a sudden, that could be a safety risk for that wallet or for the person who owns that wallet, right? So this is the core reason that Zcash differentiates from Bitcoin. Zcash is the second best store of value behind Bitcoin, is what Ansem thinks. Trades around $7 billion market cap. Then he thinks it has a lot of room to grow. Bitcoin was around $200, now trading at 80K. Zcash is around the same price it is right now. So a good opportunity for Zcash. And I do think this is a must hold. Every single time we see the market turn around, Zcash catches fire. And out of all the alts right now, we look at this third chart, the third column here, 66% in the green. Everything else is basically regressed. Right? But we see Zcash, it's only down 5% on the weekly. Meanwhile, a lot of these major alts are down double-digit percentages over the course of the week. So Zcash is really showing its strength there. And then the one alt that also is green across all three categories still at $45 is Hyperliquid. I'm not going to, dive too deep into Hyperliquid. People think that it's an obvious play, that it's a consensus play, but it really isn't. I think that there's only a couple thousand wallets that hold over 10 hype in their wallets. So this is by far not a consensus trade. And I think the most impressive thing is, even with this market dip, this little trend over here, we can look at the weekly numbers. More and more money just keeps piling into the ecosystem here on Hyperliquid over the last 24 hours even. I mean, this is just a revenue generator. This thing's a printer as a business, but also they buy back the token every single day. As you guys know, even in a down market, they've made $1.4 million. So over $1 million will go into buying back the token over that revenue, which is just so bullish. It takes supply off the market and it gives back, and it's equitable to the people that hold this. It is the same tokens that I talk about quite a bit, but the market just showed you the playbook. Okay, Bitcoin's going to rally. We're going to see Sol have a nice run. We're going to see stuff like Ethereum have runs, but then the big money is going to flow quickly into privacy, Hyperliquid, and AI. And I think the four biggest plays that we saw over the last month and a half were Tau, Venice, Zcash, and Hyperliquid. I think it's going to stay that way. I think that alts are so diluted that you only need a small basket of quality alts. The market just showed its hand, right? It's like you're playing poker and you can see the person's cards. You see, like, you could just see their cards and you know what their next move is. That's what we were just shown. Okay, this next run, we're going to see these four tokens do tremendously well. I'm very confident in that. And I think having a small but concise conviction portfolio of Tau, Venice, Zcash, and Hyperliquid, I think that will take you far in this next cycle. So guys, like the video down below if you enjoyed the content today. As well, subscribe to the channel for more. I will see you guys on the next one. As always, trade responsibly, my friends, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.